everyone, it's Melissa. Today I'm going to do a skincare video, and I think I'm going to do this every January. I use the same skincare all the time, and I have for years, and you've seen it before. But I think by doing it every year, and it's kind of updating what my skin looks like for the coming year, you know, every year I get a year older, and that way I can kind of see if the skincare is still working for me or not. But it'll be a good way to compare as I age year after year. But I do not deviate from my skincare at all. It's the same thing I have used for years, and you've all seen it. I am going to delete my previous skincare videos, so this will be the only one that I will use from now on until I update it for next year. If for some reason anything were to change, I would make a video on it, but I'm not anticipating anything changing at all because this is just what I like to use on my skin. And let me start out by saying I am not any kind of medical professional, so this is just what my doctors and I have agreed is good for my skin, and so that's just what I'm sharing is what's good for my skin. You all have to talk to your own dermatologist, your own doctor, see what skincare is right for you and your health. So I always want to get that out there. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Most of you probably already know this, but just in case, and tell you the things I do and the things I don't do. I will be 65 in April, so this video will probably be titled something like Skin Care for the Year 64/65, and then next year I'll go on to the next year like that. Some of the things I don't do are I don't get Botox, I never have, or fillers, nor any kind of cosmetic surgery, and the reason is because I have shared numerous times where y'all are sick of hearing it, but it is just, I'm trying so hard to stay healthy because I am getting to the age where the Crohn's disease, it's Crohn's disease, where it affects my life now, living and being healthy. So I really have to watch out. So I don't want to inject anything into my body that would interfere with me being into a good remission from this disease. I am taking a biologic. I am at a greater risk for infection, so I just am afraid with the biologic that they're giving me for my Crohn's disease. Any Botox, any fillers, anything would just interfere. I'm not going to take that chance for wrinkles. I'm just not going to do it. So therefore, I just do the best skincare that I can do. And I don't want to have any kind of cosmetic surgery because I've had to have so many surgeries on my intestines because of this disease. So I wanted to get that out of the way, that I don't have anything done to my skin and don't anticipate ever having anything done to my skin outside of just taking care of skincare. I do take a small amount of a topical or in a patch estrogen, but I have reduced it to the lowest dose there is, so it's just barely a little bit to keep to keep symptoms away. I haven't noticed my skin changing at all, but I have noticed my hair getting thinner. But other than that, I'm doing well with that. We'll see what the future brings with that, if I will go off of estrogen completely. I just don't know yet. But I know that a lot of people have said that estrogen affects your skin. I don't know. I guess it does. I do know that there are plenty of people I know that have never taken estrogen that have beautiful skin, and people that do take estrogen, like my mother, who, bless her heart, she had about the worst skin I've ever seen, and she took tons of estrogen. So, I think skincare is important. What else? I don't get lasers. I don't go to an esthetician. I don't get peels. I don't get microdermabrasion. What else? Is there anything else like that? I don't do. I go to the doctor for my skin once a year, to the dermatologist, to get moles and spots checked to make sure that I don't, there's nothing to worry about skin cancer. And I talk to my doctor and I talk to my gastroenterologist every year to make sure that the topical things that I'm on are okay for my body. So that's what I do. And what I don't do, I was trying to think if there was anything else. I don't use anything mechanical on my skin. I don't use a Clarisonic. I don't like to manipulate my skin, or don't like to manipulate my muscles. I will kind of pat in a cupping motion, just a little bit, kind of pat in my and kind of up like that when I put on my skincare, but that's all that I do. Let's see what else. Oh, when I go to the dermatologist, I do go to one that sells Obagi, so that they are very familiar with Obagi, because that's what I use, Obagi with my Retin A. They are very familiar with it, and they know the things that are right for me to use for my skin. And I buy it from them instead of online. One product I buy online, but the ones that you're supposed to buy through the dermatologist, I do buy through a doctor. I don't use moisturizers. I use a sunscreen. For me, moisturizers really weigh down my skin. I just like for my skin to be, it just seems like if I kind of keep my skin a little bit drier, it produces more moisture. It produces more oil. So that's why I don't like to use moisturizers. I just feel like it doesn't work as well on my skin if I use moisturizers, but everybody's skin's different, and many of you may want to use moisturizers or feel like you need to, especially if you live in a really cold climate. We get cold weather, but we don't live in a traditionally cold climate like up in the north of the United States, and I think if I lived up there, I'd probably have to do a lot of moisturizing. So that being said, that's, if you see a lack of moisturizers in my skincare routine, then you will know why. It isn't right for me. I feel like my skin does better without it. Okay, speaking of Retin A, I do always like to say that my dermatologist told me when I first started using it that the biggest mistake people make are putting other products with Retin A. I can a little bit now. I do one product mixed with my Retin A, but when I first started, he just told me, I had a male dermatologist then, he said to use just a mild soap like Dove soap. If I needed to clean it twice, just clean it twice with my fingertips, very mild, let it dry, put on Retin A. Don't use anything else, especially anything like with alcohols in it or any kind of acids in it. Anything that is going to distract or that is going to interfere or irritate your skin further from the Retin A, because the Retin A is very strong. I always say I have a very healthy respect for it, and I think it's important to not add too many other products when you're using it, or you could get into a heap of trouble. I also wanted to mention the reason I'm redoing this is there are people that are stealing YouTube videos from a bunch of different people and then using it on their skincare lines and saying that the YouTubers are actually using this skincare, and it isn't true. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put some kind of watermark here, or maybe do a picture-in-picture where my picture kind of overlaps with what I'm doing when I demonstrate how I use my products. So I did want to mention that too, and that's another reason I'm taking down my previous skincare videos. That being said, all those things being said, I'm going to go into talking about what I use, and then I'll demonstrate it. I clean my skin with a foaming cleanser. This is just personally what I like to use. My sister-in-law uses, she doesn't still use Dove soap. She started out using Dove soap. She uses the Obagi too, but she uses baby wash. When she adopted her child, she started using baby wash then, and she just continued using it. So you can use any kind of cleanser that's good for you. When I started out using Retin A, I just used my fingertips because I didn't want to have extra irritation. Now I use, since my skin is tougher, I put the foam on and I wipe it off with these little washcloths that I make. I knit them, and I don't knit them for the public, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but you can find washcloths like this on Etsy. A lot of people do knit them. And it is just plain knit, 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 back and forth, no purling, and that produces the little bumps that you can see that adds just a tiny bit of exfoliation. But I do have to say that for years I just gently cleaned with my fingertips. But so I cleanse. I like the Shiseido foaming cleanser, but use anything for your choice. I cleanse and wipe it off. Rinse my skin in the morning. I put on a vitamin C serum. Now, when I first started using Retin A, I used Retin A for years, and I started using Retin A in 1988, so I've been using it a long time. About 15 years later, I did that only the Retin A for a while. Then I started on I added the Obagi and did that for a while. And then probably about 15 years ago, I added vitamin C serum. So vitamin C serum has been the last thing that I've added to my routine. Now, let me talk about the products. The Obagi products and the Retin A and the stuff that I buy are expensive, but I use very few of them. I just use a couple of products, or a few products, not a couple, a few products. And since I don't get any other procedures done, I don't buy expensive purses or expensive shoes or really expensive clothes or anything like that. I save money that way, and I'm not switching around all the time, so I'm not buying new products that I see all the time. I stay only on these things that have worked for me, and I use just a pea-size amount so things will last me for a long time. So while they are initially expensive, and when I have to repurchase they are expensive, I do know in the long run I'm not going to be buying here, buying there, buying this, buying that. And with my birthday being in April and my other, and then Christmas, I can ask for money or gift cards to be able to purchase my products too. So that is very helpful to do that. But I want to invest in the skincare that works best for me, especially since I will not be getting Botox or any fillers or anything like that. So I want to take the best care of my skin, and I do feel like I save money that way, not going to anybody professional to take care of my skin. Okay, now the most expensive thing, I guess, is the Skinceuticals. As an alternate, I will use sometimes the Timeless. It's the Timeless 20% CE ferulic acid. Normally, I don't like to use vitamin E because it can contain gluten, but Timeless has said that they do not use gluten for their vitamin E. So I feel confident using that. But my favorite by far is the Skinceuticals. It is the Serum AOX Serum 20. It does not have any vitamin E in it. This is good. The Timeless is good. And Timeless is better than all the other stuff I've tried. And I've tried a lot of them. And I've tried making my own. But I just didn't have as good a success as buying either one of these. Timeless is good. But to me, Skinceuticals on my skin is on a class by itself. And right now, I do have a bottle of it. I have a friend that was able to get a deal on it, and she shared that with me, so I'm very grateful to her. So I'm able to use it right now. And for my birthday, I can ask for a gift card to get some more from Skinceuticals. But I do feel like this one is extremely important. I notice a big difference in my skin when I don't use the Skinceuticals brand, and it is expensive. I hate it, but it's just like liquid gold to me. Okay, that's in the morning. After I wash my face and dry it, I do the vitamin C serum, hopefully from Skinceuticals. Then I follow with Obagi Nuderm Exfoderm. This has a mild acid in it. It's phytic acid. And I cannot use any other acids with using Retin A. I've seen people that were able to use glycolic acid. I use glycolic acid in my body. I cannot use it on my face or any other kind of acid except the one that's in here. It's a very mild acid, but this is the only acid that my skin has been able to tolerate, and you can buy this online. Another thing I have to mention, you have to be really careful about buying approved Obagi products. If you're just starting out on Obagi, I would go to a doctor-approved seller of Obagi first before I started trying to buy anything online. You just never know what you're going to get online and what can be replaced. So be careful with that. You might want to go for a good quality approved product. It might be worth the rest extra money to get what I guess sometimes you get what you pay for. So that is my morning, the vitamin C serum and the Obagi Nuderm Exfoderm, and I follow it with Obagi Sun Shield Matte. I love this Sun Shield. I have tried tons and tons on my body. I use whatever, drugstore. This I use on my face and my neck only. So it lasts me a really, really long time. It'll last me through the summer, it'll last me through the winter. It's very matte, it's very It acts almost as a primer. It really holds your makeup on. I really like it a lot. It doesn't interfere with my skincare and it doesn't interfere with my makeup. I like it a whole lot. It's by Obagi. So really in the morning, just 3 steps after I wash. Vitamin C serum, and then the Expoderm, the mild acid, and then the sunscreen. So those are the 3 steps in the morning. And at nighttime, only 1 step. I wash my face again, dry it off well, let it sit for maybe a minute, kind of fan it off, get all the moisture off, and I will take my Tretinoin cream. Right now, I bought this from my dermatologist, so it is made by Obagi. A lot of times, I will just have the doctor call it into the drugstore and I get a generic kind of it. I know some people buy it online. I don't know how good that is. I have no feeling about it. I just like to get mine either from the drugstore when they call it in as a prescription. I like to get mine as a prescription under a doctor's care. That's just me, and everybody, has to do what's best for them. So I take a pea size of it and I mix it with a pea size of the Obagi New Derm Blender. Now, Obagi makes 2 products of these. One of them you have to buy through the doctor's office. That's this one because it contains hydroquinone. The other one is called Blend FX, and you can buy it online. I don't know anything about it. I don't use it. I've heard people say they didn't like it as well, that it did not work as well as the Obagi blender that you get from the dermatologist office. You cannot buy this online. You're not supposed to be able to. You are only supposed to get it through a doctor's office. So I take a pea-size amount of this and a pea-size amount of my Retin A, mix them together, put them on my skin, and go to bed. That's it. And around my eyes, I don't use any kind of separate eye product. As you will see, what kind of the smear that's left on my palm, I will take it through my eyebrows, barely being careful not to get through around my eyeballs, right through here, and then right around here. I'm very, very careful. It has never, ever bothered my eyes. So if it does bother your eyes, keep it way out here. It has not bothered my eyes, so therefore I continue to do it. So, okay, enough talking from me. I'm going to demonstrate how I do it. Now, this is going to be my comprehensive video for the whole year on skincare, so that's why it is a little bit long. So, I will go ahead and show you, kind of demonstrate now what I do. Okay, I'm going to show myself just washing my face, and this is the morning routine, and I'll just show myself washing my face in the morning. So just, rinsing it off, using the foaming cleanser. I like the Shiseido, getting a little foamy. And then I'm going up with that washcloth that I showed you. And then I'm taking this little mirror that I'm showing you. And I'm leaning over it and pulling my skin of my face up. I don't know why I do that. I don't know if it matters, but I do it anyway. I've always done it. Even when I was about 20s, I always looked down in the mirror and pulled it up. Then rinsing off the final residue. Okay, and I won't show this again, this part, again at night, and then drying it off because it's exactly the same as it was at night. There's my vitamin C serum, the Skinceuticals. Fanning it. There is the Obagi Expoderm. Just kind of smoothing it out all over. Fanning it out again. And then there's that sunscreen. I don't show it, but I put quite a bit of sunscreen on here. I squeezed it. I noticed I squeezed it 3 times to make sure that my face and my neck were both covered. Like I said, on my body, I'll just use anything, but I just love this on my face and neck. It really doesn't interfere. And then dry it off again. That's my morning routine. Night routine after I've washed my face and removed my mascara. Then there's my Retin A, about a pea size in my palm. And there's the blender. About a pea size of it, mix them both together. Look up into the mirror and just put it all over my face and my neck, my ears, and a little bit close to my eyes, but being careful. That's it. Well, it's the next day and I was editing my video and I realized I didn't do an ending. So this is the ending of it. I want to thank you all so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful week and thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.